Alright, hello and welcome everybody back to the video. I'm your SimCFI, which is your flight instructor for any sim purposes. If you have questions on Microsoft or P3D, please do let me know down below. I don't play P3D all that much anymore, but I may be able to help in some sort of cases. And yeah, thank you for joining me on the late night stream tonight. It's 1:30 in the morning for me right now. And I streamed this airplane earlier and I just fell in love, and I'm still in love with it, so I'm going to stream it again. And we're running a vertical stream and a horizontal stream, so I'd be appreciative if you guys can hit likes on both by double tapping your screen on the vertical and by just pressing the like on the regular one. And as well, comment if you're here as well. I appreciate you guys stopping in. We're on the road to 6,000 subscribers. We just need 17 more subscribers and we'll hit 6,000 today. And we're going from Jackson Hole. I just noticed it says to Kelowna. That's actually wrong. That's my fault. Let me fix that really quickly. We're not going to Kelowna. We're going Jackson Hole to Vancouver. There we go. That should get fixed now for you at the top left. In the Boeing 727 freighter. It's early morning here in Jackson Hole, so we'll be taking it over to Vancouver, as I mentioned. Pretty short runway, mountainous terrain, high density altitudes. We're gonna get going in it. It should be a cold and dark airplane with the GPU connected, and we're gonna be running with the INS. The INS is the Inertial Navigation System. So no FMS, no RNAV, no GPS RNAVs. It's gonna be a conventional RNAV SIDS and stars for us today. So a lot of VOR work and that kind of stuff. But this airplane is just absolutely gorgeous. I'll be using my camera here, and this will be, there's CRJ throttles, but they'll be good enough. These are ProDesk Sim CRJ throttles. If you have questions on that, be sure to look at the description down below, as I have a link and a discount code if you want to buy anything from ProDesk Sim. Also, if you want to buy the CRJ or the 727 as you see on screen, or any of these airports I'll be flying to, you can all buy this stuff on the Contrail web shop. I do have a 10% discount code for Contrail, so if you'd like to save some money on your things on Contrail, be sure to use my discount code down below, as it helps me and it helps you. This parking spot is quite tight. They really got us pulled in here, so we'll probably ask for a pull from GSX instead of a pushback for once. And we're gonna be operating as oh, what was the name of this thing? Flightcraft. Flightcraft operated this plane a long time ago. Flightcraft 1329. And we will be going on vPilot as well. I'll say hi to the guys in the chat. We got Fiber in chat. Hey, thanks for stopping in, Fiber. Hope you're enjoying your night so far, and thanks for tuning on in. It says, dang, late night flight. Yeah, gonna be very late night flight. I just really want to fly this airplane. I've been loving flying this thing. And I just want to keep doing it. Let me get my yoke. I'm gonna plug my yoke in. I'll leave it on a beautiful display of this airplane here for you. And I'm not expecting too many views tonight, but I really don't care. I'm just going to be flying it, and if people want to tag along and watch, you guys can tag along and watch. You can fly with me if you like. We're going from Jackson Hole to Vancouver. I believe it's Flight Beam Vancouver we're going to, if I'm not mistaken. I have to check. And this is Dream Flight's Jackson Hole. Very, very nice scenery in Dream Flight Jackson Hole here. I'm gonna plug in my yoke. There we go. And we are streaming this vertical and horizontal. So let's go ahead and get in the aircraft here. So here we are in the airplane. This is the 727 flight deck. I should make sure this worked. That works still. That works. The yoke isn't working. We'll test it once we got some hydraulics on. It might just be not working because of that. We're going to connect on Sim 1329. Right, and we're connected there now. Cool. Anyways, this is the captain's seat, as you guys all know, and then the first officer would be sat on the right. On the right, there we go. And then the flight engineer panel is here. This is the flight engineer, the third crew member. This is the this is the INS, which is the inertial navigation system. Newer airplanes have something called an IRS, inertial reference system. They use basically the same logic. The INS is mechanical gyroscopes. I believe there's 3 of them on the airplane. You got to tell it where it is in coordinates wise, and once you tell it where it is coordinate wise, you can, based on time and acceleration, it can predict where you are. The new ones do the same thing. The IRS is the exact same thing, although it's not mechanical, it's laser gyro, and nowadays they're backed up by the GPS. So if they start to drift, which this one will over time, the GPS will automatically keep backing it up. So that's kind of a very quick rundown between INS and IRS. INS versus IRS. So we're going to be taking a look at this guy. And then the autopilot panel back here. Oh, I just hit my throttle back. There we go. Bring that back. The autopilot panel back here controls our pitch selector. This is the vertical speed if we need it. Turning left or right. Heading select Alt Cell to arm to engage, to hold altitude, to capture an altitude and hold it. Autopilot engage, and then our nav selector. All right, that's basically the basics of this airplane, kind of. And so we're going to get into it a little bit here. So first things first, let's go back. Actually, let's go over here and pull up our clipboard. We're going to open some of these doors. We're going to open the forward entry. And let's go ahead and get GSX starting to board. Doesn't really matter. They're going to open all the doors for us. So it has GSX integration. The sounds are amazing. Don't worry about them driving inside the airplane. Sounds of the door, I should say, are amazing. Nope, don't do that. That's just that cargo door opening. Come back inside here, and if we look behind us, come back down here, pop out this little cargo compartment thing. Gets a lot louder with that door opening. There we go, and it's finally opened up. And this is the cargo compartment right there. You know, now that I'm back here, might as well get a, I guess I can't get a cool view. All right, let's put that back. We'll go in here. Next step is let's open some windows here. It's probably getting a little stuffy. A lot of smoke in these airplanes. That's just, this is airplanes allowed to be flown while you're smoking back then. All right, so they're going to start loading this guy up. Now we're going to go to the flight engineer panel. So what's the thing to remember about this airplane is all airplanes are basically the same, and they all have the same kind of features. They need DC power, they need AC power, they need air conditioning and pressurization, they need hydraulics, right? So every airplane's going to have that, and this has the same thing. It's just a lot less computerized, so that's what we're here for. So first things first, DC power, battery power. Let's turn that on. And you get that running. You're going to get a voltage of 28 volts right here, DC voltage. Select it to battery. Need a minimum of 22. There we go. Sweet. Already off to a good start. Ground power, or an external power source. And we'll do this to external power there, and we'll press it on. There we go. So now the airplane's kind of woken up a little bit and it's kind of alive. We're going to go over here and test our AP fire test. So just on this panel on the right, I'm going to bring this fire test up to test. Release. Oh, didn't want to pull that actually. Hopefully that didn't break our... I love that light. Look at the way that light just nicely dims out. We're going to reset this twice or else our AP will not be able to start after. Alrighty. We've also got a checklist down here as well. This is the flight engineer checklist right there. On the bottom right there. So, now, let me go ahead and test our hydraulics. We're going to turn hydraulic 2B on. Let me test my yoke real quick. Okay, the yoke's working. Sweet. And we should get a 3,000 PSI pressure. Awesome. We're going to turn 1B on, 2B off, and the pressure should stay the same, which it has. So that is all good. On the fuel panel here, we're just going to turn one fuel tank on from each tank. We'll just put the forwards on. And one of the aft pumps in the middle there on the number 2. Alright, so we're in a state where we have DC power, direct current, and we have alternating current as well that's being supplied to the airplane. And you can see everything's kind of nicely all lit up for us, looking good. Now, if we had it, we'd be able to use ground air, but we don't have the ground air connected, so we'll just keep the windows open as it's probably pretty hot in here. But we are also in a state where the APU can be started as well. Let me go ahead and go to the clipboard, and I'll press pre-flight. Sorry, yeah. We're going to sync our flight plan. We're going to press play and press play on the fuel and the load. So we're currently... Oh, GSX, let's enable that. And we'll enable that as well. Let's call the GSX fueler. Fuel truck is on its way. Perfect. Does it all for you. So now with GSX and with the fueler, they're going to go ahead and arm me or load me up, which I think... I'm going to do this one quick just to make sure it did it. Okay, and the fuel guy's on his way. So the fueler will be on his way. Oh, it finished apparently. Alright, that was crazy quick. I don't even see him out there. Anyways, everything is nicely closed up and ready to go out there. I'm just going to press this to make sure as well. We'll leave this on the takeoff phase for now, and we'll put that away. Land Aviation 34 left. Hey, welcome to the stream. What plane is this? This is the 727 created by Flight Sim Studios. And if you're familiar with Flight Sim Studios from the E-Jet, I'm telling you right now, this is not the same quality of the E-Jet. This is much higher quality. This is an amazing airplane. Very old school airplane with a captain, co-pilot, or first officer, and also the flight engineer panel. And we're using the CYVR INS today, but you also have the option to press options here and change it to the Garmin 530 or a newer style FMS, which you could do modern SIDS and stars and things. So it's a very cool airplane. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. But it's a very cool airplane. I'm in love with this thing so far today. This is fly the Airbus, bro? Nah, I'm okay. I'm good. This is my Airbus. All right, let's get this CYVR aligned. So we're gonna press standby. And what we're going to do now is get my Navigraph up, and I'm going to show you guys right there. I'm going to zoom into where we are. Now, this airport may have coordinates on its parking spots, but it probably doesn't. Yes, it doesn't have any coordinate tables. So what we're going to do is we're going to press hide. Zoom into where I am here. I'll right-click myself, and there's my coordinates right there. So we're going to select this to position, and we're going to press north, and we're going to type in this stuff right there. So north 43, we're telling the airplane where we are on Earth. 36 4, enter. West 110, that's this portion here. 444 17. That didn't work. Let's clear that. West 110 44, and we'll just do 2. There we go. Enter. Now that we've told the airplane or the INS where we are, I'm going to set it to align, and we're going to leave this on the status section, and it's going to count down all the way down to 05. So it's going to take a little bit. If we're done before it's ready, I'm just going to go ahead and press this button, the nav ready, which in the sim will automatically make it ready to go. In real life it doesn't do that, but in the sim it does. On KJAC standby artificial horizon here. Alright, we're going to press B, which will be our altimeter setting. It's just going to set it for us, 3024. There's pretty high pressure actually in the mountains today. That's pretty good. Alrighty. Next, let's go take a look at our departure here. So let me get Navigraph back up. We're doing the Allen 4 departure. So the Allen 4, get rid of that. We're right here. It says, climb a heading of 200, intercept Jack radial 192 to Kickney, cross Kickney at or above 15,000, then proceed on assigned transition route. Expect further clearance file altitude. We don't have anybody on VATSIM on ATC tonight, so I'm going to give my own clearance. So let's go ahead and tune in the Jackson Hole VOR, which is right there, 15.4. So let's go down here, center pedestal on our nav 1 here, 15.4. We'll do it on the number 2 side as well, 15.4, and they're selected and ready to go. Let's actually turn our radios on. That's actually a good start to make sure they work. So I'll come to this panel back here, and we'll turn both our radios on. And now they're working. So if we go back to our view here, you'll notice that our HSI is lit up a little bit, and it's saying 1 mile away, and that makes sense because the airport, we're right there, the VOR is right there, so it's very close to us. So we're going to be taking off on a heading of 200, and then we're going to intercept the radial of 192. So let's set a, well, in this case, it'd actually be a bearing, I guess. So let's go ahead and set our course to 192. 192. Let's go ahead and set our heading indicator to 200, as that's the runway heading. Alrighty. Just make sure that's close enough there. 200, perfect. So 192 is the radial we want on the VOR. That's all been set. 15,000 feet is how high the SID goes up, or brings us up to it originally, so we go higher. Then, when we get to Pinckney, which will be 26.6 miles. So once we get to 26.6 miles, we're at that waypoint. We're at Kickney. We're going to take, in this case, it'll be a right-hand turn to IDA. So 1385. Let's go ahead and get 1385 in the backup. 1385. So it's ready for us later on both Nav 1 and Nav 2. Awesome. All right, let's go ahead and go to the back here. And we'll get this flight plan out, and we're going to bring it over to right there. Now this has a lot of waypoints in here. I'm not going to add in Kickney because we know it's 26.6. I'm not going to add an IDA because we have that on 1385 already. Top of climb, I'm not going to add this. We are going to add these waypoints right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to waypoint. And right now we're going from waypoint 0, which is our current position, to waypoint 1. We want to edit waypoint 1. And that's going to be, in our case, egret. So we'll go north 48, 42. Just notice the vertical stream, guys can't see it. I'll move kind of like that. We're looking at egret right now. And I'll get rid of Navigraph for the horizontal guys. Where were we? 48, 42, 7. Enter that west. 122.30, 122.36. Insert that. That's waypoint 1 for us. So we're going to fly a heading of, or a radial 192 to Kickney at 26.6 DME. We turn right to 1385 frequency of his IDA, which is the Alpine, or actually I don't know what this VOR is called. It should say what the VOR is called, but it doesn't here. And then from there, we're going to go over to egret. It's direct egret after. And we'll be on INS navigation. So for the first bit of the departure, we'll be on VOR navigation, and the second part will be on INS navigation. Matt, hey, welcome to the vertical stream. Matt Andrews. I'm a simple man. I see a 727. I subscribe. Awesome, man. I really appreciate that. We are very close to hitting our 6,000 subscribers. We need, quick math, 14 more subscribers tonight, and we hit 6,000. So I really appreciate that, guys. We did a $100 giveaway at 5,000. We'll probably do a giveaway in the next one as well. Okay, now we're going to change waypoint 2, which is going to be Ebigem. It's going to be north. Actually, let me see how this looks on Navigraph very quickly first, just before I start typing all this stuff in. I want to see what this looks like. So we do our departure, go over there to IDA, then direct egret, ebum, tipo. Oh, brings us right in. Okay, that actually works out pretty well. That's the plane for arrival with no transition. We're not going to the payee, we're just going straight in. Awesome, that works out very well. Okay, get rid of that, get rid of that. So let me put this over there for you guys. So now we're going to Ibrim, which is north of, oh, let's clear that, north. It's this one right here, 48, 51, 6, insert, and west 122, 46, 0, insert. Now we're going to waypoint 3, which is IMPO, north 49, 003, insert. West 1, 2, 3, I could do that. 0, 1, 2, insert. Next is the Vancouver VOR, so it'll just be direct to that. And I want to be able to scroll on this flight plan, but it never allows me to scroll on this. And I don't know how to scroll. Let me just go make sure that that's the end of this flight plan. It is. The YVR VOR is the last one. I'll put it in here just in case. That works out for today. I don't have the coordinates there, but they're on my other screen. It's north 49, 04, 6, insert west 1, 2, 3, 089, insert. So again, guys, to recap, I'll bring this Navigraph back up here for you guys to see. Make it a little bigger for the horizontal viewers. We're streaming on both, by the way, a vertical and a horizontal stream. If you guys are on your phone, you can use the vertical stream. So for this portion here, we're taking off 200, intercepting the radial outbound technically the bearing 192, 26.6 DME. It'll be a right turn 276, and tracking 276 radial 096 to IDA. Passing IDA, we go to waypoint 1, and then follow the INS navigation onwards from there. And then we'll probably capture the ILS. That's our plan for today. All right, guys, let's see how our alignment is coming along. Catch up with chat here. Borna, hey, welcome. Good evening. Thanks for stopping in, my friend. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're all doing good. We're 14 subscribers away from 6,000 today, guys. So it's counting down nicely. Oh, we're not going to start the AP just yet. We can do a ground proximity warning test here. All right, we're going to put this away back in its little cubby where it came from. We're going to do an engine fire test as well. So we're going to get all three of these lit up. Engine 1, Engine 2, Engine 3. And we should be able to do the bell cutout. Awesome, that bell cuts out. And back there we have the engine as well, engine lights. Awesome, we'll turn that off. Don't need that anymore. Let's look at this guy, make sure he's all kind of set up. 3024. We're not going to set any of this stuff up because it doesn't really matter. We won't be on his side. Getting a bit of frame loss here. Let me go to settings real quick. We are 13 subscribers. Whoever subscribed, I really appreciate you, my friend. Let's bring these back down a little bit. There we go. Hopefully that makes it a little better. So get a little bit of stutters here and there. The forward entry is still open. That's fine. We're still aligning the INS. I might fast align it. We can have one of the galley powers turned on in the time being. This is a cargo airplane, so there's probably not going to be too many people moseying around the cabin. I love all these charts they got over here. This stuff is really cool. Thrust normal, inlet takeoff. You can calculate all the stuff you want. Max go around. N1 versus EPR at the very bottom here. Very cool stuff. I really wish the calculator worked. That'd be kind of cool, actually. Let's do a bit of a checklist. So engineer checklist. Battery is on. Fuel quantity is, we have about 70, sorry, about 9,000, just under 9,000 there, just under 9,000 there, just under 9,000 there. We'll check with our sheet here. We get a lot of lag for some reason. That checks out. 888888. Boost pumps, one on each tank, is on. Cross feed above 172,000 pounds. We don't have above that. One B pump is turned on and we've been checked. Hydraulics and engine oil quantity checked. Hydraulic has been checked. Oil quantity, pressure, quantity. We're in the 3s on each. We're good on the quantities. Bleed valves are open, and I checked that earlier, but it's right up here for you guys to see. 1, 2, 3, 4, all open here. Morning weather. Welcome. Weather been crazy today. Yeah, not the best weather, right? Not the best weather. Depending where you are. AP panel of fire has been tested. Checker breakers are checked. 8 cars, we don't have that. At least I don't know how to use it. Fire control has been checked. Fuel dump panel, that's back here. It's all guarded and closed. You can test each light as well. Is checked. Flight recorder will say is checked. Oxygen will say is checked. Air conditioning panel has been checked and set. Galley power is on. One of them. Electrical power is checked. Anti-ice auto trip check and reset. I actually don't no idea where that is. I actually don't know where that is at all. I have a feeling it's being like in the middle sec. There it is. Wing anti-ice. We'll reset that. Reset that again. Ground reset. Alright. That's been checked and set. I don't know how I found that so quickly. Overheat warning. Don't know where that is. DC power is checked and on. 8 pumps are on. Rudder power checking on. That one I don't know where that is. Rudder power. That's 16 of you guys in the horizontal and 10 in the vertical stream. I really appreciate you guys coming in here, so thank you so much for that. We're going to skip that one because the airplane flies without me even knowing what that was. So I have a feeling it's somewhere in the hydraulic section. Well, this is the overheat light right there. Okay. Anyways, we'll carry on. You can tell I know what I'm doing here, right, guys? I fly the CRJ, by the way, guys, in real life. The CRJ 900, that's my daily driver in real life for North American Airline. So it's not this airplane, but I love flying these old airplanes. Oil cooler was ground interconnect. We don't need. Oil cooler is normal, and the oxygen mask test regulator has been checked emergency off. Before start checklist, pilots. Flight attendant briefing. It's going to be an hour and 80 minutes, or an hour and 50 minutes. No turbulence en route, and no MEL. Brakes or gear levers or lights we'll say they're all been checked. Yeah, altimeters, brake pressures, radar, transponder, exterior lights. That's a good one. We'll have the nav light on, which it is. Everything else is off. Pull up the checklist over here. I love this plane, man. Emergency exit lights. We'll go ahead and arm those. I kind of missed my captain duties here. So emergency lights, let's arm that. No smoking on. Seatbelts on. What else I gotta do up here? That's all good. Auto brakes can go to RTO for now. Anti-seat can be armed. It's all good. Alright. Move a little closer here. Seatbelt and snow smoke is on. Window heat. Oh, they want window heat on. Okay, I didn't know that. Alright, window heat on. Compass, slave / magnetic. It's up here if I remember correctly. It's enslaved. Radios are on and checked. Departure briefing, I'll give you that in a second, and the logbook has been checked. I kind of gave you a departure briefing anyway, but let's go ahead and set up our speeds here. So takeoff. We're at KJAC. Taking off runway, you know, I didn't even get the weather. Let's go ahead and maybe it's runway 1. Make sure here. Weather, ATIS, runway 19. That makes more sense. What am I talking about? 19. It's 6,300 feet long. I'll sync the weather. Flap 15. The max takeoff weight on this runway is 135. Let's check how heavy we are. We are 143. So we're actually too heavy to take off from this runway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower our cargo till we're under that max weight there. Add a little bit more as we're going to taxi and burn some fuel. We'll burn 300 pounds, no problem. Takeoff. That's now within limits. EPR has been set. V speeds, we'll set all those. Oh, limits flap 15. Let's do flap 20. How much does that need? 25? Okay. Yeah, this number is under that number, which is kind of scaring me right now. Technically, we shouldn't do this takeoff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower our weight even more. There we go. Just so we're quite under that weight. And we'll do a flap 20 takeoff. All right. Still don't have enough runway. Almost 1,000 feet, but we'll go for it. We'll set those again. Don't do this in real life, guys. It's all for a sim in a game. Having fun. All right. So let's see this INS, how far along we are. It doesn't seem we're that far along. So, oh, it says nav ready. I'm just going to click this button. And it's going to go right to a FASTA line, and we're going to press nav. There we go, just so we don't have enough time on this. Transponder set to 2000, and it will set it to on. We'll turn the beacon lights on. We'll go ahead and start the AP. Actually, we'll turn the beacon light off for the time being. And we're going to start the APU. Trick question here, guys. Where do you think the APU exhaust is on this airplane? It's in a very interesting spot. APU on. And start. We are 12 subscribers away, guys. 12 subscribers away from 6,000. Really appreciate you guys all stopping in. Again, discount codes down below if you want anything in the description. You can take a look at the contrail shop or anything you like. Comment as well if you guys are enjoying this type of content. If you're happy for the or excited for the new CRJ about to come out. Heard they've been having problems with the SU3. So, anyways, the exhaust, guys. If you were wondering. Because they're like, there's 3 engines. Where can they add the APU exhaust? They put it right in the wing. Isn't that awesome? Right in there. I think that's pretty cool. Alright, now, we're actually going to get pulled by GSX because we can't really get much, we can't push back at all. So let's go ahead and go over here. And the APU is online, so let's go ahead and close the circuit breaker. So the APU is providing AC power now. The ground power is not required anymore. The ground power switch automatically disconnects. External or essential power is APU currently. We're going to set all these to rise for our drive temperatures. We're going to turn all the fuel pumps on. All right, let's go ahead and set our cabin pressure before I forget about that guy. We are flying today at 34,000 feet. Vancouver is at sea level. It's 12 feet. I'll just put 20 in there for it. And 34,000 feet equals a cabin altitude of 5.2. So let's do 5. 200 feet. We're in auto. I'm just going to make sure I can manually open and close this door if we need to. Well, I guess not. I should be able to automatically. Let's check. Auto fail. Auto. I will leave it there. So that's all good. There we go, guys. The forward entry is still, let's do the hydraulic too. The forward entry is still open, so let's go ahead and close that. Remove the GPU, remove the chocks, remove the cones. All right. Go ahead and go to our autopilot servo elevator to A and B. There we go. And I would like departure sequence current request. We're waiting for other services. Refueling. Oh, okay. Well, pre-flight. Let's disable that. Play. Finish. Should be good to go. I guess it doesn't say finish on it, does it? Huh, let's restart. I could honestly just start here without GSX, and it would be probably a smoother process. But anyways. Pushback and departure, whatever. No. It's not icing conditions. Do you see any visible precip anywhere? Look at these mountains, by the way, guys. This is Microsoft 2024, by the way, guys, if you don't know. I'm gonna go fill up my water bottle as GSX connects the tug there. All right, guys, I'm back. You guys are gonna have to tell me and remind me on the runway, or just before, set your pressure from ground to flight. Just type flight in the chat, FLT, and I'll get what you're talking about. So it's good for you guys. If you go over here, I can go distance and time. 577 miles and that no time because we're not moving. Perfect. That's correct. Awesome. All right, now we can go and turn our beacon light on. Everything is good to go. Just doing a last little scan. APU is on. Awesome. Perfect. By the way, guys, if you're new to the channel, if you become a member, I'd have these brand new emojis you guys can use, member-only emojis, and they're brand new, so feel free to use them. They're lifting us with the nose gear. That's the tug right there. We want a straight pull pushback forward. All right, we should be good to go. Transponders on and parking brake released. Before start checklist has all been done for now. For the most part, we're going to get GSX open and we're going to tell them to stop here and complete the pushback, or the pullback, I guess, or pull forward. I don't know. Just so we get away from those airplanes just a little bit there. When I start these big engines, don't be blasting anybody with it. Okay, doesn't want it. Come on, GSX. I might just tell him to go away. But alright. Take too long. Leave it. Later. Alright. Parking brake is set. I usually set my flight director, guys, but because it's visual, I'm not going to bother with that. Maybe I'll do heading, actually. Might be good. Alright, cool. So, I'm going to start the engines up here now. The packs are off and our engine starters are up here. 1, 2, 3. We're going to start 1, turning 1. And we're looking for an N2. I don't really know the number. I'm using my CRJ number that I do in real life, which is 20%. So I'm going to stick with 20%. So I don't mess up in the real world. There it is. We're going to add fuel number 1. Nice sounds with those windows open there. Put that away for now. Absolutely amazing airplane, this thing, guys, I'm telling you. Our nose is a bit crooked. Don't worry about that.
I think that's loud enough. I'm gonna go ahead and close this.
Alrighty, we got a starter cutout on number 1. Starting 2. Again, looking for that 20% on N2. And we'll start number 2. You just watch these engine gauges nicely come to life. As soon as you add fuel, your eye goes right to the IGT or the EGT here. A max of a ground start is 460 on the temp there. I think we actually passed that already, but there's a starter cutout if you heard the little click. And we'll ground number 3. Hey Jfoot, welcome. There's 20% N2. We're add fuel on 3. I love flying this plane. Oh my god, man. I have been sleeping on this plane for a while. Flight Sim Studios gave me the chance to look at this, and I've been loving it. I absolutely love this. Marcus says, hi, I all love this bird. Yeah, me too. Absolutely amazing. I'm still learning this. This is my 4th flight with it, and my 2nd only with INS. I used to use the INS quite a bit on the Concorde, back in the FS Labs Concorde days. Starter cutout number 3. But I haven't touched one since then, which was quite a while ago. Anyways, all the engines are up and running. We'll go to the flight engineer panel. We're going to transfer all the electrics instead of the APU to the engines. We'll put these back in. We'll go ahead and turn the packs on. And we're also going to go ahead and turn off the APU. Here it's shutting down there. All the hydraulics are on and looking okay. The fuel pumps are also looking with a good quantity. That's still running well. And all our oil pressure and temps are still looking good over there. Let's go ahead and set a flap 20 for our departure today. And I'll bring up the cam for you guys to see. Flap 20. Shaq says, hey, welcome back, by the way. Yeah, it's so fun. Boris needs to make... Oh my god, if Boris made the sound for this, sounds are pretty good, but Boris would make an amazing sound pack for this. And there's flap 20 set. Go ahead and set 1,000 feet on our radar altimeter here, just so I know we're... We'll do 1,500 actually, just so I know we're past our acceleration altitude. There we go. And we're going to set our speed bug to right there. Just so we can climb out of the mountains nicely there. Awesome. That's all been done. Let's do an after start checklist. After start checklist. Start levers, idle detent, yeah. Beacon lights on, yeah. Should have been. This is kind of a weird after start checklist. Engine anti-ice is off. Engines, electrical power is checked. Boost pumps are on and checked. B pumps are on. Hydraulic pressures all 3,000 checked. Lights out. That's all checked. Taxi checklist. Flaps are 20 set and indicating. Required is 20. Stabilizer trim has been set via the book here. And if you don't know if it's set, just spam that button right there. We're looking for a EPR engine pressure ratio of 2.08, and those are going to be the top gauges there behind this checklist later on. Probe heat. I forgot those. That's why we do checklists. Probe heat's on. Flight controls check. Yeah, we got full left, full right, nose up, nose down. Can't check the rotor, I'll turn the gear for me in the sim. SCAT, no idea what that is. Scat. Yaw dampers, check. I actually don't know where the yaw damper is. So if you guys know where the yaw damper is, let me know. I haven't noticed a big deal with it off if I've been forgetting it. So let me know. Seatbelt and shoulder harness is checked. Yeah, that should have been before. Engine air conditioning panel is checked and set. Galley power is on. Fuel heat checked. Let's go over here. Quantity, quantity, quantity. I don't know where the actual heat of it is. We'll say it's good. I think I have the flight engineer doing some things, including fuel heat, so he can take care of that. Auto pack trip. These are the packs here. Don't know where that is. Anyways, we're going to set this to flight now because I'm going to forget that. And seatbelt shoulder harness is good. Delayed engine start, no, before takeoff. We'll do that. We'll do it here, all here, because I'll be taxiing by myself and no other people with me, so I'll do everything myself. Jakefoot says there are still some flying. Heard one leave my local airport a few weeks ago. A lot louder. Oh yeah, man, these are turbojets. These things are loud. Very loud airplanes. Icing conditions, considerations are not required. Cabin alert. Yeah. Ignition on. Huh, where is the ignition? Continuous ignition on. All right, I didn't know about that. Cool. Anti-skid on and checked. The anti-skid is on and checked. Strobe lights, we'll get to that. Transponder, get to that. So we're holding at the strobes. We'll leave that there so I remember to do it. We'll get rid of that. So park and brake off. And we're taking off this way, which means you're taxiing that way. So a little bit of thrust, not much. And it already starts to get going here. We've lost a subscriber, and now we're 13 away from 6,000. That's okay. They probably didn't like me following checklists or something. I don't know. Oh well. This is the Dream Flight Jackson Hole scenery. So if you have Contrail, you can buy this scenery. And if you use my code, you can get 10% off of it with it as well. I'm trying to fix this camera a little bit here. As best as I possibly can. Sorry, my stand is pretty bad. That's as best as I can do. Let me know how the sounds are and everything as well. Guess I should reconnect the VATSIM, shouldn't I? There's auto ATC. No one's here, so don't worry about that, guys. Home ship, track up, and traffic on. Awesome. Everything's looking pretty good. Again, guys, a very quick departure briefing. It's going to be runway heading for a very short time. Then we're going to intercept the outbound radial of 192. Or outbound bearing, technically, not a radial, of 192. Out to 26.6 DME. Once we hit 26 miles on this counter right here, we're going to take a right turn to 276. This is not a long runway, guys, and I think they even said that this the book says I can't even do this takeoff really, but it's flight sim, and we're gonna try it. Hey, we gained our subscriber back. Cool. So we're 12 to go. 12 subscribers to go. And we're at 6,000. Kind of crazy when you think about it, guys. that overlay a little smaller for you guys there. You should take this bird into St. Martin, American Bear Metal Livery. Oh, that'd be pretty cool. That's a good idea. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Gotta get the St. Martin scenery, but we should be good to go. And apply some brakes here, guys. Alright, so strobe lights on. We'll say we're clear takeoff. I should have the taxi on from before. Taxi and runway turnoffs on. Transponder TARA. Strobe lights on, transponders on, engineer APU light is off. I checked that out. Boost pumps and crossfeed valves on and check. Alright, boost pumps and crossfeed valves on. And check because the lights went back out. Awesome. Oil cooler check. I don't know how to do that one. This is oil stuff here. Oil quantity. Panel. Alright, we'll say it's good. So I don't know. Oh. Cabin. I don't know where it is, so we'll say it's good. Next page. And then that's after takeoff stuff. Cool. Let's get rid of that. Let's line up. Hey, Lewis, welcome. I'm new sub. Hey, thanks very much. You are probably our 88th there, so we need 12 more. I really appreciate you stopping in, and I hope you're enjoying the stream so far. I usually do CRJ content because that's my rural airplane for my job, but I'm loving the 727 recently, so set our vertical pitch to about 10 degrees there. I'm going to take up as much runway as this is possible, nice and slowly. And I don't really think it should need that much power, but we'll let it let it move forward again. Once airplanes keep rolling, like at least in the RJ land, it'll keep going. Marco says flight. I got it this time. I'll go check, but I think I have it this time. Flight. Got it there. Alright, we're going to do a standing takeoff because I want to get all my power set before I get rolling on this tiny little runway. So let's hold the brakes. We're going to bring our thrust up here. About 70 N1. Okay, we're going to release the brakes and we're going to set our EPR to 2.08. All right, guys, let's go. Thrust set. Both hands on the yoke now. Well, the captain actually would keep his hand here, but an FO wouldn't. I'll keep it here because I'm the old guy here. Checked. Just made it. Gear up. Right turn of 200 as the SID says. And we're going to intercept the outbound 192 radial. Pete's out on VOR Loc. Let's keep this airplane climbing up nicely, following those flight directors on VOR Loc. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here so I can see this a bit more. Okay, there's our radar altimeter for our acceleration altitude, so I'm going to pitch down a little bit. And we can set our flight director a little bit lower here at about 7 degrees or so. We're going to accelerate. changing my heading over there to about 192, but where our flight director is showing us a track to get on that 192 radial, so we're looking okay. Let's go flap up to 5, I believe. This doesn't correlate properly, so there's flap 5 set in there. Flap 0. Okay, and now we're going to start pitching nose up to hold 200 knots. We'll set a little bit less thrust for climb thrust here. The flaps have been shown up and lights out. Gonna need a little bit more than that. There we go. Awesome. And we're going to go ahead to the autopilot panel. And we're going to press IAS. Okay, autopilot on. IAS hold. And nav loc. So it should pitch to hold this speed here, or whatever I turned it on at, which is just a bit faster. That's fine. And it's in nav loc, so this is what the flight director is showing, which I'll get rid of now, so I don't need that anymore. This is what our autopilot is doing, VOR loc. Alright, and we're looking good. And then as soon as we're at 26.6 miles, we're turning right to a heading of 276. I'm going to set that up now. Up there. I'll catch up with the comments that go anti-ice on. I don't actually know what the temperature is, but I'm just going to assume. To go. Oh, it's one of those ones. 1,000 to go. Let's keep going higher as we have no ATC here. Right up to 30, what did I say? 32,000? 34,000. I think you can only power one at a time, so you gotta like alternate these. Don't have 77, but looks like a fun plane. I'm actually learning CRJ thanks to your vids. Awesome, man. I really appreciate that. I hope you're enjoying the CRJ. And yeah, the update's going to be coming out shortly for it. Will make it a lot better. A lot better. Shaq says, God dang, these JT8s don't have too much power. No, they don't. Put this camera away for you guys. There we go. Are you all about the 747? Yeah, there are 2 Boeing 747s in the air. I don't really know what you mean by that, but that's pretty cool. We're going to accelerate now, so we're going to accelerate here. We'll say 250. I'm going to go vertical speed, and we're just going to nose the airplane down a little bit. And we'll set the auto throttle to engaged as well. Passing, oh, we're at 18,000 feet. That comes up quick because we're in the high altitude over there for Jackson Hole. We're going to press B to set all our altimeters to standard. And because we're already that high, I didn't even notice, we're going to keep accelerating. And we're out of the ice, so we'll turn all this anti-ice and stuff off. Off, 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 off. There we go. You can let the seatbelt guys go. Turn all the landing lights off. Taxi light off. Turn off lights off. There we go. That was on, that was on, that was on. Can't really tell. So those are all on. Cool. Looking good. Let's go ahead and we're at 23 miles. We need to go to 27 miles. We need another 11 subscribers, guys, and we're at 6,000 subscribers. Let's go check our pressurization, which should have been done at 10,000 feet, but we'll do it real quick here.
Pressurized 1,500 feet if I'm reading that correctly. The cabin is not climbing currently, but the door is fully closed, so we should be pressurizing. Packs are on, so that is good. He's changed that to 5.2. Oh no, I did that. Okay, never mind. Awesome. I'm loving the CRJ. I got a hang of it, except my hard landings. Yeah, the CRJ does have a very, it is a very tricky airplane to land in real life as well. Very, very tricky airplane to fly. Let's go up gear to off. Oh, I've been talking way too much. Let's go right turn. There we go, right turn and heading select. There we go. Now we're going to go to the next VOR. Oh, okay, let's not do that. Okay. Okay, why is this opposite now? Anyways, next VOR 1385, 1385. And the radial is 276. I was like, wait a minute. There we go. And we're going to turn a little bit more inbound so we can intercept that. Yeah, I passed it just a little bit, as you guys can see there. That was me not paying attention. This is why there's 3 people in this airplane, guys. Also, we're going to alt-sell ourselves. We're going to keep climbing up forever. So let's press the altitude select button. And now we're armed to level off. There, we're going to keep coming right. I wonder if I click it into nav loc, it'll intercept for me. Oh, I think it is. Oh no, it's red, so it hasn't captured it yet. We're looking good. We're climbing around 300 knots or so. I'm going to select this into IAS hold, and it can nose up for whatever it needs to do now. I don't know what the climb thrust is in this airplane. I don't really have a climb. Oh, you know what? It's probably over here. Go around, max continuous EPR, max climb EPR. Alright, well, Pat, where would I put a true air temperature? SAT? That's the SAT. Where's the true air temperature, I wonder? Total air temperature. It is 10? Minus 10. It's actually not that cold. Minus 10. And we are at, let's say, 5 to 25,000. Max EPR, climbing EPR is 201 to 203. And we're at 208. So we need to bring this power down a little bit. Let's go auto throttle off and bring this to, bring this down a little bit. Oh, you know what? I'm being dumb. Let's turn the, add a bit more power in here. Set it where it was. Set it in manually here, and we gotta set 202. There we go. Now we're at climb thrust set. I'll just re-engage the auto throttle there. VOR loc is green. The needle's alive. Everything's looking good. Shaq cheated with the auto throttle? Yeah, I mean, I fly RJ real life, so I'm allowed to cheat in the sim. I think that allows me to. I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take that for myself. Look at those smoky engines. I love this livery, Purelator. I just realized I made absolutely no radio calls, but there's no one there, so...
beautiful looking airplane. I think that went pretty well. Things to improve on, not blowing past the waypoint. Other than that, I think that went pretty well for a single crew person here. Yeah, I think that allows you to. Awesome, perfect. I think so too. Kevin says these planes are super loud in real life. Yeah, I'm sure these turbojets. I don't think this is nowhere near loud enough of what this should be. I can blast it for you though. All right, I won't do that. I'm sorry, it's very late. Let's bring that back down. I really appreciate you guys all stopping in on this, on the vertical and horizontal stream as well. We're trying to get to 6,000 subscribers. We're 11 subscribers away. Call all your friends. No bots. Shaq, and I'm just joking. Call all your friends. Get them out here to subscribe. And if we hit 6K, we'll be doing a giveaway after the FS Expo as well. Now we're nicely back on this route. Good morning from Sweden. Bjorn. Hey, well, welcome. Thank you very much for watching. Bjorn, hopefully I'm pronouncing it properly. That is one of the singers from ABBA. Bjorn was the guitar player, right? Blonde hair. ABBA was one of my favorite bands. I'm sure you get that a lot when you mention Sweden, but that and IKEA maybe. But yeah, welcome very much. Thank you for stopping by. I've never been to Sweden. I really want to go. Kevin, welcome. We had one that would come out in PHX every now and then. Felt lucky to see it. I've seen like a shell of one, and that's about it. I've never actually seen one fly. We're up in the 30s. Let's go check our max EPR here for climb. I've been slacking on this stuff, guys. Max climb EPR, it's the same. Let's how cold it is now. How cold is it now? It is, we'll call it minus 15. We'll interpolate between the two. We'll call it 30 to 35. Minus 15. 30 is 2.01. 35 is, they're actually basically the same numbers. So we'll set 2.06. You can see the auto thrust has already increased itself. 2.07 is the max though, Mr. Auto Throttle. Check 33 for 34. 207 set on all three. They were operating a little hot, so I'm going to get rid of the auto thrust. Slowly bring my thrust down to match those numbers there. It says, yep, awesome. You probably get, yeah, that's probably towards the ABBA part in IKEA. Crazy, I also got the SR-71 land in Germany. That's awesome. I think got retired at that point landing. Yeah, that's a really cool one to see. If you got to see that one, that is awesome. Really, really cool. We were going quite quick. They're probably going to want us cruising at 0.8, so I'm going to set 0.8 there. Let me check my flight plan. They want us cruising Mach 0.8. Alrighty, we can do that. We're about to pass over the VOR. I'm gonna go heading mode, and we're gonna go from waypoint 0 to waypoint 1. Insert waypoint 1. Actually, we've already passed that. So OxNav, right hand turn, alt cell at 8,000 feet, or alt's cap I should say, and we're going to reduce our thrust. Actually, we'll just throw on the auto throttle engage, and we've selected Mach 0.8. Nicely coming together, guys. Now, what I just learned in the stream earlier than this, Shaq pointed it out to me, I believe, from many other people. This has absolutely nothing to do with the INS. So, I'm just gonna get a set of heading here, or a radial based off of that VOR we just passed, which would be, let's see, roughly 298 from that VOR. 292. Okay, well, we're close enough. And now we're direct towards the next waypoint, which is Egret. And I'll zoom out here. Egret's all the way over there. So this has nothing to do with anything anymore. If we go over here, we have 520 miles to go, 70 minutes, just over an hour to get there. I'm gonna leave this on this page. And then direct track is 309 degrees. That doesn't make sense. That's probably not what that means. Oh no, this is our track. Sorry about that. That does make sense. We're heading of 290, but we're actually going that way. That makes sense. Put this back to distance and time. Awesome. I'm so used to flying the A320s and 37s and their screens. I wouldn't know where to start on something old school like this. Yeah, you know what? If you want to start something old school like this, I highly recommend just buying it and diving in it. You're gonna fail. Don't go on VATSIM. You're gonna fail a lot, but once it starts to click and you get really good at it, it's such a nice feeling. And I'm a little better at these older airplanes nowadays, one with my real flying experience that I have, but more to that point is I used to grind the Concorde, which was basically this, but a lot more stuff to do mid-flight. And the other thing I used to grind too was the DC-6 by PMDG, and this is basically a DC-6 with jets and an INS. So I would say buy it. They're not that expensive. You can use the code down below, or at least watch videos on it and just dive into it. Buy the freighter or buy the passenger one if you want to get into these type of planes. You don't have to read the manual necessarily, although it is recommended, but just watch a bunch of videos, and as the video goes, you can even back this video up, but I would watch an actual tutorial and do what they do, pause, do what they do, pause, and watch as they go, do their exact flight plan. And you'll find that it's not as hard as it is. Plus, you don't have to use this old INS system if you don't want to. You can go over here and you can select the newer FMS. So you can basically, you don't get screens, but you could basically make it do GPS, RNAV, SIDS, and stars, and all that cool stuff as well by clicking this. Built into the sim, all built in. What does that do? I don't know what that did. I probably shouldn't change anything. Smoke effects on. GSX auto mode. Better synced. On screen keyboard. Yes, there it is. I wanted that. I've been looking for that actually. Let's go charts. CYVR. Enter. Yeah, that one. We'll keep that there for the time being. This was my first payware plane, FS9, back when Captain Sim was good. What a mistake. Yeah, Captain Sim, man. Captain Scam. I had Captain Scam's 777, 67, L1011, and maybe something else back in the day. We're 10 subscribers away, by the way, guys, from 6,000. Might hit it tonight. J-Foot, the INS looks a lot more intimidating than it really is. It honestly does. Let me take you through the INS and you'll understand it in 2 seconds. Step 1, program where you are when you have waypoint 0 selected, and then set it to a line. Step 2, select waypoint you want to edit, enter coordinates. Do number 2, do number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maximum of 9. Once you've reached waypoint 9, you can overwrite each waypoint, and then you'll go from 9 to 1, 1 to 2, and you go back in order. Step 3, this is your distance, this is your time to the waypoint that you have selected here. There's your wind. There's your track. is desired track, I believe that's what that stands for, and then the status. So it's kind of not aligned anymore. Now there is a way to I believe there's a way to realign this, but I am not that advanced yet. What else we got? This is the we just had a I think we just had a weather update. I believe, don't quote me on this. This is our track, I think, with no, that can't be deviation. I actually have no idea what that is, so get rid of what I was about to say. And then this is our ground speed here. I don't know what this is. I would assume track as well, but I don't know. But this is our ground speed here. So it's not that crazy. I mean, I don't know some of the things, but you can get away with not knowing everything about it. And that's the fun part, you know? I don't know what that is. I'll look it up later and I'll figure it out. You know? Nothing crazy. I got crushed for so long, but ended up learning tons, so totally worth it. Exactly. Lewis is nice. Yeah. I think you should look into it, Lewis. If not this plane, the Avro RJ or the DC-6 by PMDG, one of the old birds, and you'll get into these planes, I'm telling you. If you put one of the 750s in it, it can fly RNAV approaches pretty well. Oh, that's cool. Yep. Yeah, you can do it too with the. I think you can also just do. You can also do it with the 7. You have the 530 option here as well, so you can probably do an RNAV with that as well. I would imagine, or maybe even the FMS as well. So you can make this a newer airplane. You don't have to fly it like an old airplane. I mean, you will still have the gauges and stuff. Well, you can make this a new airplane. You can make it completely VATSIMable, a lot more manageable on VATSIM, I should say, and not have to change. You know, not to look for specific airports with VORs and stuff to fly to. You can fly from anywhere if you put the FMS or the 530 on here. Yoham, hey, welcome back, or welcome to the stream. I haven't seen you in quite a bit. RJ is fun. Love it. Modern but retro. Yeah, that's one of the best eras, is modern but retro. MD-80, 737, 500, that kind of stuff. I love that stuff. Love it, love it, love it. I think if I had to change something about this airplane, I would change the fact that the INS here doesn't show anything on this. This is all VOR information. This has nothing to do with where we're going right now. That's what I would change, personally. The other thing, Lewis, if you're still watching, is after you fly this airplane, you can hold your chin up high to all those Airbus flyers. Take their magenta line away and they're nothing, I'm telling you. I regret never buying a level D 767. Oh, I had that one too when they were out. Yeah, I had that one as well. I actually didn't like it all that much, but I think I'm just not a big 6.7 fan, to be honest. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for it. I just don't like the flight deck. I know it's the same as the 7.5, but the 7.5 is gorgeous, so. Kevo, I also had the PMDG MD-11, which is a relic now. No one even knows about that one usually. Lisa, I need to learn how to fly on VATSIM too. Started on Xbox 2021 out. Moved to PC a few months back, so I'm completely new to flight sim. Hey man, no worries about that. You'll get better as you go. For example, if ATC popped on right now and they said contact me on whatever center, what I would say is blah 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 center, whoever the name is. Let's say it's, you know, I don't even know where we are. Let's just say Atlanta Center. I know we're not near Atlanta, but let's just say Atlanta Center popped on and said, hey, contact me. I'd say Atlanta Center, so start with that. If you don't know who it is, just say center. I do it in real life all the time. Say center. You're going to say your call sign. In this case, it's Flightcraft 1329. You're going to say your altitude. Flight level 340. Flight levels in the South Domestic Airspace start at 18,000 in North America. North Domestic Airspace has changed. I think it's 23 up there. But, you know,
flight level 340. And then because it's VATSIM and you don't have a code already, and really that's all I would say, but because in VATSIM you don't have a code, you don't have a transponder code, so they might not see where you are, I'll just say direct to egret or something like that, or you know, passing over the, where are we right now? No, nothing really good. I might just say how north I am from that VOR we passed earlier from what is that VOR called? IDA? Idaho Falls. So I'd probably just say, you know, like 80 miles north of Idaho Falls. That's more of a VATSIM thing. I wouldn't say that in real life. Real life, I would just say Atlanta Center, flight craft 1329, flight level 340. So always, you can always have that kind of format of who are you talking to? Who are you? Where are you? And what do I want? Talking to who? Who are you? Where are you? What do you want? And if it's uncontrolled and you're just talking to other pilots, it's the same three things, but the last one, instead of where, what do you want? It's where do you go? Where are you going? You know, what am I doing? You keep that in your back pocket, and it'll pretty much get you in every ATC scenario for the most part. But yeah, learn SIDS and stars and IFR procedures, learn your airplane very well, and then go on VATSIM. I wouldn't recommend going on VATSIM before you know your airplane very well. Once you know the airplane inside and out, then you just gotta worry about VATSIM and air traffic control. Interesting. Okay, I think this might be a bug, guys. I was trying to use the ADF earlier in my other stream, and I couldn't get this to switch, but it looks like it actually functions. It just doesn't turn that knob, which is very strange. That might be a bug, maybe. I'm not sure. Level D founder passed away and never shared the code with anyone. Wow. That's how you understand it? Well, if that's true, that's quite sad, actually. They lost it all. 757 is the most beautiful, ugly duckling, and yes, to rare PMDG 9011 effort. What plane? Yeah, I loved that PMDG MD-11. Still got 430 miles of, or 430 miles to go. Here's a question for you guys. We're still tracking based on that Idaho VOR. We're at 34,000 feet. There is a calculation to figure out how far we can will fly and capture and still maintain VOR reception. You guys put your answers in the chat. How far are we going to go until we lose this VOR? Answers in the chat. How far till we lose VOR reception? You can look up the form if you like. Because again, guys, VORs stand for very high frequency omnidirectional reception. No, very high frequency omnidirectional beacon. And anyways, it's a radio station on the ground that sends out 360 degrees of signals that we're tracking, that you can track in or out to. And there's a certain, it has to be line of sight. It needs to see you in order to your systems on the airplane to access the information from a VOR. EDF or an NDB is different. NDBs don't have to be line of sight, but VOR does. So there's a certain range where eventually they won't work anymore. And it depends on your altitude. The higher you are, the further you see it. So the question is, how far can we fly at this altitude, 34,000, until we can't see it anymore?
And I believe technically it is AGL as well. It also depends on where your VR is. If it's in a mountain range, you know, that'll all change its line of sight if it's in a valley or something. Give you the Idaho information there. I don't think it gives you a height. Retropilot, hey, welcome. Talking about old planes, I still use XP 11 737 Classic for my IXG. I love that one. That was a good one, guys, and it's amazing. I have very good graphics with reshade. Yeah, XP 11. I use the old Cometa Concorde and the IXEG. That's the only ones really I really loved. You can see we actually just lost reception there. I didn't catch the range there, but to see if our math was close at all. Hey, we are 9 subscribers. 9 subscribers away from 6,000. There you go. Well, if you did the math, at least the math I did, I came to 86 miles or so. And we actually kept it going for about another 25 or so, maybe 20 past that. So yeah, it's pretty close. May 7 days says PMG MD11 didn't sell well enough FSX, and they were controversial about low. Zoom in on that one. I don't even know what that word says. Referrals of the FS Lab parted ways from PMDG. Oh, okay. Lefters. I was digging into FSS 727 files and saw files called EPIS 86C, and the EPIS 86C is basically the EPIS from the 727 Classic. So FSS is making a Super 27, and apparently they did the instruments. Oh, that's pretty cool. I don't know if I'd fly that. I kind of like this one, to be honest. We got 4 likes in the vertical stream, and we got 14 on our horizontal stream. I appreciate you guys doing that. Bit of a slow night, and I kind of expected that, but I'm just having fun. All right, guys, we're 50 minutes away. Why don't we start thinking about descent planning here? So what we could do is bring out this guy. We don't really need it, and I'll show you why. So we'll do this. I kind of wish these tabs were at the top, by the way. FSS, if you're watching, I want these tabs at the top. It'd be nicer, but we can use this later, and I'll do my own calculation for the time being. But we're 50 minutes to go with 380 miles. We have 34,000 feet. So we'll get to that in a second. But let's get our first stuff, which is weather weights plates. Weather weights plates is my little thing I use for real world flying in the CRJ. It works very well in the CRJ, and it'll probably work well in this as well. By the way, guys, you're not part of the Discord, go ahead and join the Discord, link in description as well. So this is our charts. We're gonna get the weather. Let's go airports, CYVR. By the way, the calculation from memory is 1.25 times square route. Typing this in chat for you guys. Alt of station. There you go. From memory, that's what that is. Could be wrong actually, but that's my memory. So let's go ahead and go airport. This button, weather. Probably don't have a digital ATIS. No, we do not. All right. Well, METAR. The wind is 100 at 7 knots. 20-mile visibility. Few clouds. 30, 100, 100 feet. Broken 53. So it's a pretty nice day, and an altimeter of 3014. We're gonna go to our. Let's make this a bit smaller. We're gonna go to our standby altimeter and set that in here right now. 3014. By the way, I probably should have checked our RVS symbol. It's a sim, so obviously it'll be good. What is the formula for? That is our VOR reception range. So how far can you track a VOR from? We have 7 subscribers to go, guys. We just gained 2 more. Thank you, whoever subscribed. 7 subscribers to go until we're at 6,000 subscribers. Didn't a 737 Classic was released for FS20? It was a CSS 737-500. It's very good. I like it. I shouldn't say it's very good. There is some bugs with it, but I enjoy it, and I can't wait till it gets better as well. It does need some fixing though, and the sounds are pretty bad. M7A says Froze is the founder of FS Labs that worked at PMG prior to creating FS Labs. He's Greek, that's why it's hard to pronounce that last name. Okay, makes sense. I would like him to make the Concorde for Flight Sim 2024, as he said they were. I'm still waiting on that. Anyways, let's continue. So we're going to be using the runway 8 in this example, or in this case, because it's the winds. So let's open the charts. Let's go ILS 8. We'll go ahead and pin that one. Our arrival, pane 4, is already being used. And in this case, we're not going to take the right turn. We're going to continue going. We're going to hit the VOR and go left to a heading of 268. That's what we're going to do. And that'll bring us for the downwind runway 8 right is actually what I'm going to choose here. 8 right. All right. So 8 right's what we're going to use. It's going to be a visual backed up by the 8 right. With a ILS of 109.5. Let's go ahead and set these together, guys. 109.5. So we're gonna go over here. Something I see in Flight Sim World that I want to try to get people to not do is using one side of the navigation side, or I always use the captain side. Get in the habit of setting both captain and first officer, just because in real life, if you're going to go into real life flying, and if one fails, you already have your standby if you're flying alone, or your first officer and or captain will have theirs still working. So always set both. In the airline world, we always set both because both people will want to see the information. But if you're flying alone, you're going to want to have both just in case if one fails, you have another one to fall back on. So that's why we do that. So 109.5, 109.5. Actually, let me do this a different way. Let me set the Vancouver VOR first. 15.9. 15.9 for the Vancouver VOR. And 15.9 for that one. Then it's going to be 11. What was it? 109.3. 109.3. I'm all over the place. I'm getting tired. 109.3. All right, and 109. Please stop zooming. 3. All right, so Vancouver VOR, which we're going to be taking, we're going to be departing that VOR heading of 268, which is a radial of quick math 088, and then we're going to flip it to go to the ILS. That's what we're going to do. That's the setup. I'll catch up with chat real quick here, guys.
Honestly, it would. Let me go back up here. Why I did not know that formula sounds very cool. Yeah, it's a rule of thumb formula. It doesn't always work, but it's you know, it was 20 miles off from today. With today, I got 85 miles. We kind of lost the VOR reception in the sim at least at around 110 or so. Drink some water here. FSS Concorde is the next project at MSFS up here after they release the Neos. Really, you made my day, my friend. I cannot wait. I was the kid. I was 13 years old, 14 years old when I had the Concorde FS Labs. I've been simming actually for about 12, 13 years now. Anyways, FS Labs Concorde, I was about 14, 15 years old with a physical Concorde disc and manual. And I would bring that manual to class and read the INS manual all day, every day, and start a procedure and all sorts of stuff. I love that airplane. That's my favorite era of flight simming. And I can't wait for that to come back. For example, in October, was it GNS XLS files if Raider 727, and 1 month later, boom, GNSS. Oh, okay. So I assume Super 27 will be released in 1.2 months. That'll be pretty cool. Probably at the Expo. I'm gonna meet them in person, so I'll kind of ask them about them, or ask them about that. I'm waiting for the Phoenix Simulations Neos. Honestly, from what I've seen, I don't own FS Labs, but I own Phoenix. The FS Labs from systems and MELs and failures looks way advanced than Phoenix. I know it doesn't texturally look that good, but I don't know. I think it'll be a close race. I think it's worth to have it, the FS Labs. A321neo and A320neo 2026 for Concorde. That's not that far. That's not that bad. I can wait till that. Anyways, let's keep chatting about this this arrival here, guys. So anyways, we're gonna hit we're direct. Where are we going here? We're direct egret, which is expect to cross runway 280 knots, 12,000 feet. So why don't we go and set 12,000 feet in our altitude selector, because no one's going to be there. Then egrim, then Amaipo, then we're going to keep tracking forward to the Vancouver VOR, which I actually did plug in, I believe. And that one's 8,000 feet. Runway 8 left, or 8 right, or 8 right. Then we're departing Vancouver VOR at 268 heading, which is the 88 radial. And then we'll self-vector ourselves into the ILS runway 8 right, which is going to be a visual backed up by the ILS 8 right. 109.5 set left and right in the standbys. Final approach course is 083 with glide path check at tab V2030. MDA is visual, but I guess I'll bug it anyways here. I actually don't know how to set an MDA in this. I just know how to set a radar altitude, so that's all I know how to do, other than setting this guy here. So we'll set this one as 300 feet basic, or 260, 259, so 260. And we'll set this one as well, the oh, I'm using the wrong one. Left one here, my mistake, guys. 209, this is if our high intensity approach lighting system was out. We need this one, 209, 210. So we'll set that right there. 10, 20, 30, 40. That doesn't work. So it'd actually be right in the middle, which brings us 200 above ground. Awesome. Pappies will be on the left. ALS type 2 lighting. It's a 3-degree slope, expecting about a 700 foot per minute descent. MDA on our approach will be, we'll call it 7,000 just to be on the safe side. Or sorry, MDA, MSA. And on our miss approach will be, actually this is based on the Vancouver VOR. Vancouver VOR is down there. So we'll just call it 7,000 feet, as that's where Vancouver is. We'll call it 7,000 for the entire thing, because that's the high sector, and we'll just respect that. So in the event of this approach is runway heading to 420 feet, then a heading of then a right turn away from the mountains to 2,000 feet, heading 113, then a right turn direct to the VOR. So 420 feet, then a right turn 113 to 2,000 feet, then a right turn direct to the VOR. Climb to 5,400 feet. Sorry, shuttle climb at YVR to 5,400 feet before proceeding on course. So basically getting into the hold at the VOR there before proceeding on the course, and the hold is an inbound of 257. I'm gonna go put my AC on a little bit here. Sorry about that, guys. I went to turn my air conditioning on, but I also went up and grabbed, I couldn't resist grabbing a freshly baked cookie that me and my girlfriend made with some French vanilla ice cream. So anyways, if we go mist, we're only heading to 420 feet, so pretty close. It's about, well, it'll be 420 on sea level anyways, but 400 above ground. And then it'll be a right turn to 113, climbing to 2,000 feet, then a right turn direct to the VOR, which will be a heading of 0. That is just as a right turn direct to the VOR. That's it. So we'll spin our course so it matches direct to the VOR. Roughly a heading of that's east. That's 077, that's 257, so probably a heading of, we'll call it 200, something like that, roughly. And then we're going to enter a hold, which is a direct entry hold into this VOR. Boom, boom, direct entry hold into the VOR, shuttle climb to 5,400 feet. I'm going to put a heading of 200 here. I'm going to draw this and then highlight that, and then 5,400 feet. 5,400 for the mist, and then before proceeding on course, which we don't have a course because we're not getting vector. So all right, we have 37 minutes, 277 miles to go to that waypoint. We'll have to cross that waypoint, if you remember, guys, at 12,000 feet. So let's quickly do this. We're at 34,000 feet. We have to lose to get to 12,000. 34,000 minus 12,000. Nope, let me do that better. 34,000 minus 12,000 is 22,000 feet to lose. So we'll do 22,000. Sorry, 22 times 3. So at 66 nautical miles, I'm going to start a 3-degree descent. So what I did there, guys, was 34 minus 12, which was 22. 22 times 3 equals 66. We'll say 66 nautical miles is where we're going to start our descent. Now we're going to do a 3-degree descent. A 3-degree descent, a very easy way to do this, our ground speed under descent will roughly be the same as now. So our ground speed now is 440 or 450 or so. So take 450 divided by 2, that equals 225. Add a 0, so 450 divided by 2, 225. Add a 0, 2250. We're going to descend at 2,300 feet per minute. That's what we're going to do, guys. At 66 miles, we'll call it 70 miles, 2,300. But we're not going to start down when it says to start down. We're going to start down a little early to build in slowdown time. This is a CRJ trick. So at 70 miles, we're going to descend at 3,000 feet per minute. We'll do CRJ numbers. And we'll build in some slowdown time there. Retropilot, yep, you got the right answer. Been waiting on the Boeing 757 for a while. Yeah, me too. Retro, you're correct. Yep. Retro is correct. Do you have a very accurate mental trick to calculate descent, vertical speed? Oh, sorry, I just did that. Yep, there you go. Sorry about that. We just did it. I've been laying in the comments here. Sorry about that. I'll be at the Expo and check out a Bluebird 757, FS, EJet, FMS, Alpilot. Hey man, if you're there, look for me. I'll have my shirt on. We just lost a subscriber. That's boo-hoos. We're looking at some sad faces in chat, guys. Sad. Wait, I don't have any of those. Sad face. Close enough. We lost a sub. Oh well. Anyways, I'll be there. And if you see me, I'll have my shirt. It has my old logo on it, but it'll say Your Sim CFI on it. So come look out for me. I will be there. Thank you for stopping on the vertical stream, by the way, guys, and the horizontal stream. We're flying the 727 to Vancouver. We're going to start our descent at 66. We'll call it 70 miles. It wants 2,300 feet. Based on our mental math, we're going to start down at 2,700 feet per minute to build in some slowdown time as well. And we got to cross the waypoint, egret, at 12,000 feet, 280 knots. Now, let's go see what this has to say. 3,400 feet, the target is 12,000. So, required distance is 70 miles, which we were pretty good on, and requires 1,500 feet per minute. We calculated 23. I think that's... it might be right, because that probably counters maybe... No, I don't know. I'm kind of more leaning towards mine, but this might be a shallower than 3-degree descent. This might be calculating a 2 or a 1.5 or something like that. Probably a 2.5. But a 3-degree would be 23, so I'm going to do about a 4-degree descent, which would be about 27 or so, 3,000, somewhere around there. And we're going to start that at 70 miles. Pretty close. Landing data, set the weather. Main landing distance 4,600 feet, that's fine. It'll be a flap 30. How long is that runway there? Airport length 8 right is 12,188, but that doesn't account for this extra portion there, but that's fine. I mean, that's more than enough runway. We'll do a flap 30 landing. We're going to set the EPR to 199. We can do that now. And the GOR on N1 is 8597. Okay, to keep this page up. Our VREF is 125. Approach of 130. There's no gusts, so we don't add any more than that. This is what I want at 5 miles, 2 miles, at 0. Wait, MMS. I actually don't know what this is. MMS max. Something, I have no idea. I think these are flap 0, flap 2. Is there a flap 2 in this? Yeah, flap 2, flap 5. So I think there's flap 0 speed, flap 2, and flap 5. So guys, on the missed approach, let's just talk about that one more time, because it will get complicated if we have to go missed in this airplane. I'll talk about what we're going to do route-wise, and then procedure-wise what we're going to do. I was like, why hasn't that gone down? There we go. That looks better. So, route-wise, what we're going to do is straight ahead, 420 feet, right turn of 113, 2,000 feet, right turn of roughly 200 direct to the Vancouver VOR. Then just before we hit the fix, we're going to turn right to 257, or as we hit the fix basically, and we're going to start our turn. And we're going to start holding on that outbound of 077, inbound to 257, 1 minute leg holds, shuttle climbing to 5,400 feet. The procedure for this mist, I don't actually know what the procedure is in this airplane. In the CRJ, obviously I do, because that's my real bird. But these have go around buttons. I think that's for the auto throttle system. So I will attempt to click these. I'm going to manually pitch the airplane up to about 10 to 15, probably 15 degrees nose up, with a positive speed trend above our approach speed, above re-ref. We're going to go flaps to 5. Actually, we'll go flap 15. Positive rate gear up. Then once we're passing, we're in that kind of that right turn towards 113, we'll start speeding up and accelerating and climbing and reducing our flap setting, bring our flaps up. And we'll do climb thrust and on the way there. So what I'm going to do also is once I hit that go around button, I might have actually auto throttle off. So I'll do it all manually anyways. We're going to do turning right to 113. I'll set this in the heading bug there. Autopilot on, IIS hold, and heading select. That's going to be very complicated to do very quickly, but I might just I might just fly it all manually. It'll probably just be easier, to be honest. But that's basically the story there. Straight, right, hold. Up to 54. Been waiting on something. Read that one. Means minimums. Yeah, probably. That might be good. Yeah, 0 minimums, 2 minimums, flap 5 minimums. Yeah, maybe. And we've set all those speeds there, so we have them all set. And I think it keeps getting changed because we're in cruise. That's fine. We'll do it later. All right, we're still good. We got 215 miles. We're gonna start descending in that's for a bit. So I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'll give you guys some outside shots here. I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm also going to make a sandwich because I am super hungry. We have another 20 miles or so until we have to start descending. So I'll be back in about not even 5 minutes. And I hope you guys are all enjoying the stream. We're 8 subscribers away from 6K. And we'll probably hit it tomorrow.
So look out for a giveaway after the Flight Sim Expo. All right, I am back. I just demolished and, well, I made a sandwich very quickly and demolished it very quickly. Let's get this course set up for the next heading we're going to do, which is 268. After we pass the VOR. Looking good. You guys are keeping the chat alive. I really appreciate that. You guys, 9 people on the vertical stream. And we got 14 on the horizontal. If you guys can hit likes and subscribe and all that stuff, we're 8 subscribers away. Keep the comments going. I like chatting with you guys. You're keeping me awake, to be honest. Minimum move reach speed. Yeah, that's probably a good one. That's probably what it means, actually. Do you guys have the trick to convert little nav map GPS coordinates into CYVR coordinates? I don't, actually. I don't know. I don't think I use little nav map or a little nav map though. I just use the what's this thing called? Navigraph. Got a comment in the vertical stream. The vertical stream is lacking. Got to keep it going. Currently, I have the flight engineer doing some stuff. I have him doing pack temperature, airspeed bugs, fuel heat, and his engine, his noise, his voice is on.
I'm gonna do that because I know how to do that one now. The next one I'm gonna learn how to do. Oh, you know what? I haven't even been doing that. Let's go check a look at this stuff. We didn't even do the after takeoff checklist. That should be off. That should be off. Oh, yeah, you already did that. There we go. Well, we got just under 5, just under 5, just under 5. So everything is looking good over there. Don't know why that light is on back there. Oh, look how quiet it gets. Guys, I can't say this enough. I love this airplane. This is such an airplane that I love to, like, I enjoy these a lot. I forget what this is. This is actually something important, but I forgot. But anyways, if you like these old airplanes, you'll have so much joy with this. A lot of good fun. Oh, look, we got a holding. So let's do this in case we have to, Holden. I don't actually know what this means. Holden. So never mind, let's not do that. I thought it was holding fuel. Lead corrections. I want to look up this. I want to learn that. That sounds kind of interesting and cool. What is bleed corrections? Let's go up here. You take a look at this. That's not good. Actually, no, that's, yeah, it's a little higher than it should be. It's kind of staying within the limits. Anyways, those charts are cool if you get into them. If you don't have Navigraph charts, do you guys have a free way on how to find ILS? No, no idea. I've always used Navigraph. Always use Navigraph. So let's do this little trick. Maybe we can use this calculation to our advantage here. I got one guy in Vancouver there. The Vancouver VOR basically sits at sea level. And there's a way. Oh, where'd my phone go? Move up my phone. All right. Just trying to remember this thing. Okay, there we go. I found it now. So we're at 34,000 feet. Things basically at sea level. So 1.25 times the square root. We'll call it 34,000 feet. That can't be right. There's no way it has a reception of 230 nautical miles. That's what the math says. I don't know if I would trust that though. Anyways, we're selected to our VORs. I like to double check everything in this airplane because you can be led astray very quickly. 15.9, and then our ILS 8 right of 109.5. Aha! This is why I double check. 109, 8 right, 109.5. There we go. That was before I ate, so I was really hungry there. Just about to pass out. Good thing we caught it. All right, let's do some of these checklists, as I didn't do any of them. Next page. Oh, you know what? I could have turned that ignition off this whole time. Forgot about that guy. Should have did the checklist. Seatbelts, yeah, line of lights off. Logo light, I don't have it on anyways. It's not nighttime. Gear levers off, yep. Hydraulic pumps, check. Auto pack trip cutout, don't know what that is. Descent approach checklist. Seatbelts, shoulder harness, we'll do that in a second. Or later on when we're closer down to 10. Anti-ice is off. Gear, oh, you know what? I did forget the auto brakes. We're gonna go medium. Brake pressure, check. Where would I put? I would put a brake pressure near the flight, near the pilots here. Brake pressure, there it is, 3,000 psi. Awesome. I like that it saves you on the second page. I really like that. Barlow briefing, we've talked about that many times. Altimeter is 3014 set on the standby currently. Landing data, EPR, and airspeed bugs have been set and cross-checked. Seatbelts, the engineer, the seatbelt shoulder harnesses, fuel panel is checked, fuel heat is off. Hydraulic pumps are on. Cabin altitude checked, circuit breakers checked. All right, we're looking in pretty good shape. Turn that away. How are you guys still doing with me in the chat there? Traffic entering the Vancouver area is flight craft 1329. We'll be descending via the Vancouver 2 arrival. Currently direct egret. Sending 12000 starting from 340. That's not right. Sending me the Pain 4 arrival. Sorry. Even though no one's listening. So there's no one here. Let me know, guys, if you like the vertical stream format. I'm still working on everything, so I'm not it's not all finished. But hope you're enjoying the vertical stream ability. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna press this Alt. I guess I can't. I'm not gonna press that. I'll leave it in Alt. Select engage. Looks like we're getting some bumps. We'll throw the belts on, even though it's cargo aircraft, anyways. We are in the clouds. Let's check the SAT real quick. The saturated temperature is in the minus 50s. So even though there is clouds outside and it's cold, anything below minus 40 on the SAT, no icing can occur. So we don't need any anti-icing, and it's all off. Now, if it was minus 39 or hotter, you would need up to 10 degrees. You would need a anti-ice running now. Let's go back for a little adventure. What can I click without breaking anything back here? Vent door open, latch door. Oh, so I think these actually glow if the doors are open. That's kind of cool. I'm gonna test that. No way these work. Power master control. Open, close, floodlight. Cabin light. I don't know really what I'm doing. There we go. That's pretty cool. Don't really need any lights, to be honest. It's... Oh, wait a minute. What? Just a random room? Alright. Cool. Let's go through this little hatch here. This is our cargo compartment. Transporting some goods over to Vancouver from Jackson Hole. All the windows been taped up. Oh, I got some horses back here. It's kind of cool. All right, 80 miles, 10 miles till we're gonna start descending here. Just picked up the VOR as well. Oh, you know what? I had to download flight recorder during this. Flight recorder. Yes, I bet. All right, let's start setting ourselves up here. So we're gonna press. We're in vertical speed. We're in alt cell. I'm gonna disengage that. We've armed it to level off at 12,000 feet. And we are gonna start down now, basically. Just a little early, but that's fine. Aiming for roughly 3,000 feet per minute, maybe 27, somewhere around there. And basically, I'm just judging if the airplane can maintain thrust, and if it can, I'm allowed basically to add a little bit more descent in it, a little bit more nose down. But I don't want to descend too quickly down there, so let's just get rid of it just a wee bit there. A little less descent. There we go. We'll try that out for a bit. Let it all stabilize. You know, we'll have actually 294 for the time being, just so it all makes sense. And then we'll fix it up later. There we go. Yeah, a little bit bumpy getting down in here. That's okay. I'm gonna add a little bit more descent. But see how the power is up to hold 300? That means there's a lot more descent available in this airplane. If I really needed to crank it down, we could probably do 3 to 3.5 descent down, and it'll hold speed at idle thrust. We're doing about 3,000 feet per minute. So we're looking pretty good, actually. Let's get the CTAF all ready to go for Vancouver. CTAF frequency is 18.7. That's the channel that everybody should be talking to you guys on, other pilots at least, if there's no ATC, which there isn't today. 18.7. This is one of the very few airplanes that really immerses me. I get very into this one. At least I really like it. Okay, 48 miles, 8 minutes. We're another just about 13,000, 14,000 feet to lose. We're direct egret, and then we're going to take a little tiny right turn once that bar comes inbound, basically, and we're going to fly to Ibgem, and then IPO, or IMPO, and then we're going to fly over to, we're going to keep going in the YVR VOR, crossing at 8,000 feet, or above, and then passing the VOR, we're going to take a left turn 268. Outbound. Looking good. Looking good. Appreciate all you guys stopping in and staying with me this late. Vancouver traffic, it's Flightcraft 3, correction 1329 descending via the plane, correction plane 4 arrival. Correction 160 descending at 12,000 direct egret. Be cool to see if they got the terrain radar or weather radar, whatever they got in here. If they ever have any of that stuff. It'd be cool to see if they got that working. Alright, we got 35 miles to go. I'm going to lessen up this descent a little bit. And we're going to slow to 280, but we'll do that eventually. We're not really too much in a rush to do that. We're going to lose 2,000 feet, and we have 6 minutes to do it, so we can even do like 800 a minute, and it'll be okay. Oh, okay. Don't worry about him. Check for the localizer at 12,000 feet. If you guys are just popping in as well, we're 8 subscribers away from 6,000, so if you be sure, be kind to hit the subscribe button if you like this kind of content, or like the CRJ, which is what I mainly fly, or when I do fly in real life and what I mainly show on the streams. Be sure to hit the subscribe and get us hopefully close to that 6,000k like goal. It's going to start to get bumpy into these clouds. And we will need anti-icing for this. Let me make sure that that's sat, yes, and tat. It's getting pretty warm. We're almost at 10 degrees, so yeah, we shouldn't really need it. Check 13 for 12,000. Got here a little early. That's okay. Rather early than later. We're already doing 280, so that's okay. So it's above 10 degrees Celsius and we do not need anti-icing. Cool. I'll bring the control cams up for you guys because I'm going to forget later. And yes, I'm using CRJ throttles, but it's all I got. So, I mean, I guess I could put the Honeycomb Bravo 3 throttles across, but I'll lose my nice big speed brake that I like to use. This is the PU Air Korea CRJ FMS you're looking at right here as well. And we're alt selected at 12,000. Let's go ahead and set 8,000, which will be the next one once we pass the egret intersection. We'll do that in 20 miles, which is 3.5 minutes or so. Crossing egret, 280 knots, runway 8 left, 8 right, and it's 12,000 feet or below. So we can actually continue descending. Why don't we continue going? Well, it's only a few feet to lose. We're 50 miles from the VOR. Gotta lose 4,000 feet, even if I do 1,000 a minute. So, why don't we go ahead and just hold here for a bit. And we'll have about 25 miles to lose. Actually about 37 miles or so to lose 4,000 feet. That should be more than enough. Hey, we gained another sub. We are 7 subscribers away. Counting down each one. Appreciate that, whoever that was. Thank you very much. A little bumpy at the top of these clouds here. Be expected. By the way, guys, if you don't know, this is actually Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. This is the new one on beta, or on update 2. I don't have beta 3. Just running update version SU2. We're gonna get our flight director on, and we're gonna set this to. Actually, I'll leave it off for the time being. I'll turn them on later. Alright, we got 9 miles to go, 8 miles to go, and now what's going to happen, we've been waypoint 1 this entire time. What's going to happen is it's going to go from 1 to 2 after. Any idea why they put the FO DME display on the captain's side? What do you mean? He has one right there. DME, and he has one in the HSI as well. FO DME 2? Oh, I see what you mean. This one's Captain DME 1. So, this is the FO's DME. This is the Captain DME. You can verify you guys are the same, or if you're using 2 separate frequencies on 2 different VORs, you guys can know what each other's VORs are looking at, so you can cross-reference it. Five miles to go. Now you can see we're picking up that track there. I'm going to change this to nav loc, and we're going to fly inbound on 294 radial. All right, and we're going to start descending on down. Oh, let me turn off alt cell. We're alt cell on 8,000 feet. And we're tracking towards the VOR at a 294 radial. I'll show you how, or bearing, I should say. That's what it looks like right here. And we're tracking to the VOR now. I could track the EBIM and EXPO and whatever on INS, but it'll be easier just to go on the VOR and then change 268, leaving it. That'll just be simpler. Setting into the soup. And we're hot enough, no anti-ice required. I'm gonna lock my rudder pedals here. Oh, you know what? I just did a major mistake, and I just broke that speed restriction there because I was talking to you guys. I'm gonna blame all you guys. Let's go ahead and use some spoiler though. That's okay. No one sees, no one sees. Oh, I descended a bit quick. That's okay. We'll be leveled off for a little bit here. I always forget how sensitive the this little descend thing is. You don't have to move it that much to get this airplane to rocket ship down. So that so far, and me passing the waypoint, get rid of the spoiler, was my biggest mistakes in this stream. That's not bad for a 4 a.m. stream. I'm happy with that. That makes sense. Could be nice for VR to VR type flying. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Just right on the top of these clouds. I got here a little early. I kind of wish I was still in a nice gradual descent, then leveled off, which you'd like to keep it. But I forgot how sensitive that is, and then I started talking to you guys about our radial and all that. This didn't switch from 0 to 2. Let's go from 1 to 2. There we go. We got 5 miles. I should have autoed that I had thought. Leave it on waypoint mode. And maybe it will do it if I'm in waypoint mode. It doesn't really matter. I'm not using it, but I'd like to know the distance and all that kind of stuff. Vancouver traffic, flight craft 1329 over intersection Ebgem, 8,000 feet, tracking towards the Vancouver VOR. Then we'll be flying out on a bearing of 268 from the VOR, radial 88, right downwind, 8 right. Vancouver. We got 20 miles to go to the VOR. And this should auto switch itself. It should, I believe, to 2 to 3. Waypoint from 2 to waypoint 3. Doesn't seem to do it. It should automatically be doing it. Huh. Alright, well, from 2 to 3. And now this is waypoint IMPO. Waypoint 3 is IMPO, so if we're going from waypoint 2 to waypoint 3 on this chart, that's IMPO, but I get that I'm tracking the 294 bearing inbound to this VOR regardless. And so, you know what, we might as well just go 3 to 4, which is the, actually we'll do 2 to 4. Ebgam to the VOR, the YVR VOR, 17 miles, 3.6 minutes, and that agrees pretty much 16 miles now. That agrees with our DME. So that is good. All making sense. All making sense. All right, we're gonna set our approach speeds there. And it keeps changing it, but anyways. Okay. Thank you guys all for stopping in as we're about to arrive here. $10 miles to the VOR, and we're going to depart the VOR at a heading of 268. So let's go ahead and set our course, sorry, our heading indicator to 268 just for a reference. And once we get to about 2 miles or so, I'm just going to turn this course knob to 268 there. That basically puts us on the downwind for runway 8 right. Now we're below 10,000. We haven't been cleared to land, but I'll throw the taxi runway turn off lights on. We're not going to be cleared to land because there's no one controlling us, so I'm just going to go ahead and throw all these on. In real world, at least in the CRJ land, the landing lights only come on when we've been cleared to land. It's a bit of a reminder to us. But that won't really happen here, so I think the next time I stream this, it's going to be at nighttime. It'll be a bit more. I like to start everything in day when I'm new to the airplane. This is my second flight ever with this INS.
But once you get into the airplane a bit and you can start getting comfortable, I start to make it a bit harder. So we'll go to nighttime. Auto brake disarm. That's interesting. Let's try. There we go. Thought that light was on. I couldn't tell or not. Let's take a look at this in case I need anything here. Line check is gear flaps, ignition. I'm gonna forget the ignition, so I'm just gonna throw it on now. Anti-skid check. I'll do that now as well because we're alone here. Awesome. All right, we got 3 miles to go. So we're just about to hit the VOR. There's 2 miles course. 268. All right, guys, and as you can see, we are departing this on a over here. We're just turning now, departing this VOR at a 268 bearing outbound. Well, technically, now that we're over the VOR and the VOR is changed over to behind us, this is technically the 268 radial. Radials are from the line behind, and bearings are to with the arrow in front. So the VOR is now behind us, therefore it is a radial. Anything from this section below is all radials. This section above is all bearings. Technically, the real term. A lot of people just say radials anyways, but it's not the radial. The radial is just from behind. All right, we're getting ourselves vectors here. We're over the water, so let's go ahead and go down to 3,000 feet on the altitude selector. I'm gonna rearm our alt cell by clicking that button right there, and we're gonna start heading on down here. Receivers are slowly coming back to idle. I can descend a little bit more because they're not at idle just yet. INS is basically useless now, but I'm gonna keep it set to 0 to 4, and that way I have present position to waypoint 4. Waypoint 4 being the VOR for the missed approach. So we'll have that set and ready to go. One thing, guys, as well, we're gonna have to manually use our spoiler on touchdown. There's no arming this. So you're gonna see when I touch down, I'm gonna add the spoiler in manually. All right, let's go to heading mode. Do that, and let's go and switch over to the ILS frequency. And we're gonna turn, the course was 083. That auto did it for us, which I don't think it would do, but let's go ahead and parallel that a bit better. Oh, heading select, there we go. And we're gonna set our flight director to approach. Bring that back to normal there. All right, we're 10 miles. We're gonna wait till this glide slope starts to come all the way up here.
Glide slope alive.
Check, see how it's coming up? That's what we want.
1,000 to go.
Check 4 for 3. And we're not decelling because we're idle thrust in this descent. I can kind of lessen our descent a little bit there in order to slow down a bit more. Vancouver's just passed over there. Beautiful airplane. Amazing airplane. Let's start turning left so we don't go too far over the water here. Heading north to start off with. Spoilers retracted, everything's good there.
Okay, and we're going to turn further in. Let's do a heading of 050. 05, whatever. 053, 055, somewhere close there. Leveled off at 3,000 feet. And that's looking good. We're 14 miles on the final here, basically. Vancouver traffic, flight craft 1329. 10 miles, correction, 13 miles to the west, turning right base. Are we 8 right? Basically a right base. Let's slow down a little bit more. And now what we're going to do is we're going to press. Okay, it doesn't want to work. We're going to press Auto GS. And now, as soon as the localizer captures, we're going to descend. Notice it says VOR loc, the light slope, they're orange, which means they're not active just yet. And our flight directors are in VOR loc and glide slope, but they're not active either because we haven't captured it. Turn a little bit more. Actually, it won't turn anymore. We're going to hold in this heading. All right, let's go ahead, flap 2. Get these slats coming on out. Leading edge of the wing there. Not a full leading edge slat, just the little middle part of there, just near the end. There's localizer captured. Kind of blew through it a little bit, like this, just like the CRJ. I'm used to that. And glide slope capture. Let's slow down a little bit more. We're still at 8 miles. That's fine. We'll slow down a bit more. We'll go flap 5. All right, landing checklist. We'll get the gear. We should be slow enough for the gear now. Gear's down. Flaps 5. We can go flap 15. Ignition's on. Engine anti-skids have been checked, and that's already been set. We have an after landing. Awesome. We're all looking good on that. The gear is down 3 green. Doors all closed. Setting 5,400, 2,000 feet technically, and then 5,400 feet in the shuttle climb. So 2,000 is set for the mist. Further flap 20. Runway's visual landing. And flap 30. All right, flaps 30 set and indicating. The gear is down and locked. We got here alt select is armed. We can, yeah, that's fine because in case you have to go mist to 2,000. And let's hand fly this guy a little bit. So let's start my recorder. Record. And we're going to turn off the auto throttle. And we're going to turn off the auto pilot. Autopilot is engaged. This airplane hand flies very beautifully. We do have flight directors, as I've set it up in the approach mode up there, so we do have the flight directors, although we are visual. Correct my speed here, I'm a little fast. The engines are very powerful, you don't really need too much in there. Check. Make sure you guys can see there, a nice view for you guys. Looks like it will be a good view for you on both streams. Just reset my view there for myself. And correct my speed. Awesome. Make sure it comes out good on the stream there. That trim wheel works hard in the plane. Yeah, it does. That trim wheel's constantly going, isn't it? Correcting speed. You really need very little thrust. This airplane just goes. Trying to find a nice thrust setting. On the Pappies, this airplane hand flies so beautifully, and it's a treat to land. Called landing a mile back already. Getting laggy as we get close to the runway, which isn't fun. A little bit of a floater. It's okay. Speed brakes. Still in the touchdown zone. Reverse. And we're lagging like crazy. Whoa. Very little rudder. I'm going to do much rudder as possible to try to keep it on the center. I've been having a lot of that in 24, and I don't know what it is. Manual brakes. Reversers are out. Huge stutters. I'm going to stop flight recorder there. All right, and let's do a replay. Didn't call anything, but there's no one here, so I would exit it there, but I'm going to do a replay. So, flaps are still full. You're going to hear some stuff going on. Don't worry about that. Back in the replay. Trim, powerful but old and don't respond quickly. Yeah. How big is your rolling cache? Flight interface. I don't know where that would be online. 50 gigs. 50 gigs is the rolling cache. Thanks for that subscriber. We're 6 away from 6,000 subscribers. That's quite insane. I'm gonna get a view for you guys. Let me go ahead and just get this view all set up for you. Awesome. Yeah, 50 gigs is the rolling cache. I don't know if I need more or less. Let me get rid of these cams for you so you can see it a bit nicer here. There we go. A little rough, tiny bit, but more than acceptable. Definitely had better landings, but wasn't terrible. Touchdown zone, pretty much on the center line. I'm happy with that. Go back on here. At this channel, I don't care about feet per minute all that too much. In real life, we don't care. It's just touchdown zone and center line. So you want to be inside these lines, and you want to be on the center line. There you go. Need to be a bit to the left. That's okay. There's all the stuttering happening. That's pretty good for a stutter lander, if I have to be, well, say so myself. Well, anyways, guys, I really hope you like this stream. I'm going to try to get all these stutter things fixed. It's been happening to me recently, and it's very annoying. But either way, I'm glad you guys stayed with me at this very, very late stream. Really appreciate you guys sticking around. I'll leave you with one last replay with some music on, and we'll call it a night. So thank you guys so much for staying here and staying tuned. Both in the horizontal and the vertical stream. Oh, real quick, the vertical brother gaming. Hey, welcome. Said hi. Hey, well, thanks for stopping by. We are 6K away from 6,000, so we're looking good on that. Thanks for stopping by, Brothers Gaming. Let's go ahead and put this to our landing side, and I'll see you guys later.